Welcome to Late Night League. I'm Mark Zimmerman, and this week is all about roster talk. New members, new lineups, and another future SKT World Championship in the bag. Or maybe not if KT has anything to say about it. We'll talk all this over today with CLG sub Yuna. There's no time to waste. Late Night League starts right now. We'll start off with the most intriguing news of the week, and I say intriguing because during the offseason everything is big news, but this one was a little different. It was revealed that Huni would be going to SKT as their top laner, which is a bit of a shock in and of itself. Everyone knows Huni's extremely talented, but there's always been this lingering doubt as he seemed to struggle when it really mattered, and had questionable picks and decisions. And it's true that a team like SKT is the perfect environment to unlock a player like Huni and refine his game. What made this more surprising, though, was the fact that Immortals had already signed him to a multi-year deal. The organization decided to let him go to SKT in what they called a test of their ideals. Now, Huni has always wanted to play for them, and IMT decided to let them have his wish. This is such a strange situation, though, because to me, Huni, despite all his flaws, is a special talent, and to give him up like that seems like a mistake. Now, there's a couple factors to consider, of course, like the high chance that SKT had to pay a buyout for him to Immortals, and the likelihood that Huni wouldn't really be happy on Immortals, knowing that he was forced to stay there. All things considered, though, I have to say that I find myself at odds with the decision. That's not to say that if I was in Noah's shoes, I would have done something different, but just that this is clearly not in the best interest of the organization's success, and the goodwill that it buys from fans doesn't seem worth the price. Huni would have been a long-term building block and something that the rest of the team can easily be built around. He's not just a tremendous player in-game, but he's a personality that pulls fans in. He's a superstar in every sense of the word, and many teams lack such a figure. And to lose all that with almost nothing in return? Like I said, I'm not sure I would have done something different in Noah's shoes, but as an outsider looking at the situation, I can't say that it was a good decision. Let's hear what some other voices have to say about this and some other roster news. First joining me is my co-host, Taylor Cocke. Taylor, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little bummed to see Huni go, but, you know, greener pastures, I guess. I mean, he's going back to Korea.
Yeah, someone will take his place.
Yeah, somebody adorable and with cheeks.
Yeah, everyone has cheeks. Yeah. Our other guest for today is CLG sub and meme maker extraordinaire, Orlando Yuna Flota. Hey, man. Yeah, there you go. There's your clap. I'll give it to you.
Oh, sorry, Harvey. You're not Travis. I'm not Travis at all.
Yeah, we kind of lied to get you here.
You.
We were like, Travis will be here. Get Taylor.
Yeah, it's a downgrade, I think.
Upgrade.
Okay, that's good.
So
I appreciate that.
For people who don't know you, can you introduce yourself quickly to the audience?
My name's Yuna, Orlando Flota. I'm a streamer and AD carry substitute for CLG. You may have seen me at MSI Worlds, in Scar Shadow, all that stuff.
All right, so you are a big fan of LCS in the competitive scene, so you've been following all this news pretty closely. So what's your thoughts on the whole Immortals kind of just giving Huni away to SKT?
Well, it felt pretty weird because Huni was signed to Immortals for another year, and it's like great for Immortals, obviously, because if they keep Huni, and then one day Immortals just like, you know what? Take him.
Yeah. So you showed me a tweet actually before this that they actually there wasn't a buyout. They just kind of gave him away, right?
Yeah, like there's buyouts with like contracts, so you get a lot of money. It's possible to get members from teams if you buy them out, but the organization just didn't even go through with the buyout. They literally just gave away their contracted player for another year for free to SKT.
Yeah, it seems pretty crazy. So looking at the Korean scene, obviously SKT is still a big powerhouse. They also picked up Peanut. And then you have KT putting together their super team of Smeb, Score, Pond, Deft, Mata, right? So of those two teams, who do you kind of give the edge to?
I think everyone can easily say that we can always give it to SKT because they have the legacy, right?
Yep.
3 world championships. You know, this year I thought they were going to get a 4th, but then they pick up Peanut and Huni, and so it's like, all right, let's give it to SKT again.
So you're still going with SKT. Taylor, do you personally think it's KT or SKT?
Oh, I would love to see KT pull this thing out, just because I'm a long-time suffering KT fan. But man, Peanut and Huni on the top half of the map is just like, that's kind of silly. I mean, but the question is, can Huni perform?
Well, I think the other thing too is whenever you put together so many like powerful pieces that all are aggressive in a sense, sometimes you end up where it like just comes off the wheels because everyone's trying to do their own thing. Like we don't think of Huni as a great tank player, and there's definitely times where SKT's gonna be like, dude, you're playing a tank. And we haven't really seen that out of Huni where the rest of the team is like, you need to do this necessarily. So I think this could be
Spring
different.
playoffs. He played some tanks.
Yeah, but
I mean, after Lucian.
yeah. I mean, who knows? Do you think this is a case where SKT might have put together too much firepower in a sense?
Maybe, you know, it kind of feels like, wasn't TL like that? It was like a really aggressive team, and then one day I was like, I guess we just lose every game.
Yeah, it's like you just always want to be going forward, and no one ever is like, I'll chill right now while someone makes a play on the flip side of the map. Let's get into the NA scene, because we're all from NA and we care much more about that. There's a lot of roster leaks and kind of big news. There's the Echo Fox with Looper, looks like a Cadian Gate, Frog and Keith. Then we also have P1 with Zig, Inori, Ryu, Arrow, Adrian, then there's the TL roster. So there's a lot of these kind of things coming out. Which one caught your eye the most, and who are you most excited to see?
It's kind of weird, but I'm kind of excited for the Echo Fox roster. It felt like, I mean, obviously 1-17, like, good job, guys.
Oh my God.
There's no way we can do as worse as last year, right?
I mean, they can get relegated.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, it can get worse. Don't test them.
This year looks like, even though the roster isn't like as like high here, like they've got Looper and stuff, it still feels like the roster might like be shaky. But I have like some faith in Acadian, especially. Like I've talked to the guy, I've met the guy a bunch, and he looks like a player that can do well. And I'm just interested to see in how he plays.
Anything for you, Taylor? Someone on your radar? Who do you think kind of won that offseason between all those teams?
I'm pretty stoked for TL, to be honest.
You're kind of on the outside because a lot of people are hating on it after hearing potential Smeb reign over to.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, of course, it's going to be a disappointment when you think you're going to get Smeb, and you don't, and you end up with Lorlo. But I mean, Lorlo, I think the kid's got potential, man. And I think Rainover's going to be a big help to him, especially because you have Rainover was the guy that shaped Huni essentially. So like. I think TL's gonna be fun to watch.
Right, and I think what's interesting is I was talking with you a little bit, Yuna, about it, and Golden Glue in particular is getting a ton of hate. Some of it understandable because he has had some struggles in the challenger scene, but a lot of it comes down to like the fact he got a fat paycheck from Ember, and some people thought he like wasn't worth the money. But like, if someone just was like gonna give you a ton of money, would you be like, no? Let me turn some of that down, right?
No way I'm taking this.
Yeah. So do you think it's a little unfair, some of the criticism that Golden Glue's picking up, or what's your experience been with him?
I think it's fair to say like Golden Glue does deserve like a little bit of flack. Like his previous showings have not been that great, but it's definitely like the best mid laner you can get out of like the challenger scene. Like without a doubt, Golden Glue is like the best mid laner. And I think TL is smart to pick him up instead of like going with Phoenix. I think it's a good change. Right,
because I mean the thing you have to keep in mind is that you're always trying to balance not just like what's the best import you can get, but how does it actually make the rest of your team. So when you're looking at Reign over Huni, very top-heavy map, who's your AD carry to pair with Matt? I mean, we've seen that it's kind of a struggle when they went through Jinth and Fabi and all those people. So definitely a team I'm interested in looking at. Taylor, you brought us a little feature to look at too, right?
Yeah, I sort of brought it considering that Travis isn't here. Travis did send us a little bit of a postcard from Barcelona. I'm not really sure what's in it, so let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh, hello. Sorry I didn't catch you. I was reading about the return of Real Bread. If you're wondering where I am, because I'm not on Late Night League and Tilted this week, and you may say to yourself, well, why isn't he here? He's the only reason I tune in. I love Travis Scafford. He's the whole point that, either of these shows exist for. Well, I'm sorry. I'm actually in Barcelona, Spain this week because headed straight over here from the ULO Rivalries event that we had in Florida. All Stars is happening this week, and I had to get out here just a little bit early to check out museum, to look at some old architecture, I had a margarita pizza last night, that was pretty good. Just done a whole bunch of stuff. There's some statues, plaza. Listen, anyway, I'm very, very busy and could not be on the show this week, and I'm also quite jet lagged, so I'm just gonna go to sleep. Goodbye.
Who
I wouldn't
gets
mind
pizza
if
in Spain?
he got sick with something and got quarantined. That'd be my goal for his trip.
He's in Spain and he got pizza. That's not what?
Anyways, he's there for All Stars. Hopefully, All Stars gives us some good games to watch because, unfortunately, for hindsight this week, once again, we're going to be looking at the collegiate scene. So let's get into that.
A lot better comparatively, but still probably the biggest discrepancy between these two teams.
And we gotta imagine that maybe this guy is sandbagging a little bit. You're picking Misfortune and Twitch. Not really the most meta of AD carries, and so if he's able to really refine his draft, so Baron gets started right away, but there is nobody around from UF, and this looks like the game just gonna be on FSU's shoulders now because this is a completely free Baron.
Best of Collegiate,
Zach,
Florida.
oh, he could have flashed
smite
in.
right away.
There's no vision.
Ooh, that hook. Very close, but dankest walks away. And with that,
This week on Hindsight, we are looking at another game from the collegiate scene and what you can learn from it for solo queue. So first up in the clip, we're basically even in gold, and the AD carry for University of Florida has just died, and we see that basically FSU is in the motion of moving through the top jungle up to meet with the Ezreal to start taking the top turret. So in response, for some reason, we see the Zach going bottom. Now, Yuna, why are they doing this?
It kind of makes sense. Like, they're making the top play, so you obviously don't want to come to the top play when your AD carry's dead. So you go for the bottom play, but they forget about, like, one of the biggest objectives in the game, right? Baron.
Yeah, so generally you can say, like, in solo queue, don't go bottom as a jungler for Baron unless you have, like, a really clear plan in mind and you know what you're doing. Here, we see the Zach in the bot side, and it doesn't seem like they accounted for the fact that their AD carry is dead and they have no vision in river. So what ends up happening is the Zach reveals himself without actually even going for a dive or anything, realizes, oh my God, they're gonna go for Baron. And then, you know, FSU sets up a portal to go there, and the Karma finishes channeling a recall. Like, what is happening?
Bar tunnels in vision and Karma recalls back to base.
Ah, God, it's just
Happens.
And at the same time, Zach is like slingshotting himself across the map. So there's obviously a miscommunication here where they have no idea what's going on. One thing I'll say is I do think it's fine sometimes to go for a bot play if you, like I said, fully understand what's happening. If you're able to kill the enemy top laner and then your top lane, who now is the only one alive, can TP into the Baron to defend it, sometimes that's an okay play. But as we see, University of Florida doesn't even have TP up. So this is just not a good play to go for at all. He's slingshotting across the map, trying to get back up there to contest the Baron, but they have no vision. The Karma's in base, can't even face check it to let him see it. And the Zach has no idea when's the right time to try and flash in, when's the right time to try and do anything. So as he finally tries to get up here, he could have maybe flashed into the pit to go for a steal, but he doesn't have any vision on it, so he doesn't know to go for it. Now, in your opinion, Yuna, is it worth going for a Baron steal there as the jungler?
Of course, right? Their team's already behind. You're a 4,000 HP Zach. If you go in there, you got like 30 seconds to realize what the Baron's HP is.
So you're saying flash in blind,
You just go in, dude. Ari already knows, saw them doing the Baron. Zach, you got to get in there, boy.
Just get in there, boy. All right, so obviously I agree. Flash in there. If you are able to secure the Baron, one, it's a nice chunk of gold right away. Two, it stops them from snowballing the game and keeping mowing down turrets, which is the big concern with Baron, not just the initial gold swing. So need to go for that Baron steal. Didn't do it. Probably didn't know the Baron HP and didn't want to risk his flash, but as you said, just do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Can't be scared.
Don't be scared. Well, you would have gone, right?
And they lose their AD carries flash here at the end of the play, too. So it's just like disaster.
Icing on the cake. That's it for this week's Hindsight, however. Learn from University of Florida's mistake kids and don't be like them. When we come back, we'll dig into the man behind the mystery with more Yuna.
It's harsh, man. It's harsh.
We are back from the break, still hanging out with Taylor and Yuna. I want to take this time now to kind of dive into your story a little bit, because you were always a little bit of an enigma for me. Like, I saw you on social media, you're really active there, but I didn't know, like, where you came from. Like, you just kind of showed up. So why don't you talk to me a little bit about your background in competitive gaming and things like that?
Background competitive, I always like played a bunch of League. Like, I started in high school and just played too much League, grade drop, stuff like that. Then I decided to join like random NACS teams, stuff like that. And most of like why I got known was I just like started to get like, I guess my social media honestly was like a big part of it. Like, people always saw me talk to other people, and one day I landed a job as a sub for CLG, and boom.
So talk to me a little bit about being a sub, because a lot of teams just sign random people who have like no intention of ever doing anything with the team. Like, because there's the pro team who you signed, then there's the challenger team, and your sub can't be a challenger player, and then there's the subs who are often just like randos. So are you a rando, or do you actually like do stuff with the organization?
Are you asking if he's actually good at the game?
Well, yeah, like what's your rating and things like that?
I'm slightly good at the game. Last year I ended ranked 69 in Challenger, so
Nice.
pretty okay.
Did you aim
Nice.
for 69, or is that like?
It's all luck, baby.
Yeah, okay, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, so I thought
master
I was
of
gonna be the
names.
same thing, honestly, as a sub, like just a rando, some guy who's like an orc, just like looks at the challenger ladder, throws a dart, and be like, that one. But CLG came to me and specifically was like, we want you, we think you're cool, and I'm like, all right, sweet. And so as a sub, I went with the other sub, which is Fragnatic. We went every Tuesday and watched all the CLG scrims, and we did some like analytical work. And then we were always invited to do like other stuff with the team, like team exercises, stuff like that. And I was the sub who was chosen to go with them to MSI and Worlds.
So you were actually much more involved than the average sub who's just kind of a name. You did things with the team and helped with them. Is that something you want to keep doing, or is that just like, you know, would you want to join a challenger team and eventually make your way into the LCS? Because, I mean, you're obviously pretty skilled, right? And especially if CLG's using you.
Yeah, I think that was like the big question that I've been like confused about recently, because CLG actually offered me to try out for their NACS team, and it's like a big experience going with them every single LCS weekend, watching them play. Like, even though I don't play, like every time we lose, I'm just like super sad. Every time we win, I'm happy, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I've like come to the decision that I'd rather do more like a comedic side of League rather than trying to go like super pro and stuff. I've been working with Scar and Pokimane, and we've doing like a lot of content with each other.
So kind of getting into that, how did you meet up with Skara? And you're his roommate now. I hope I'm okay sharing that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty known. So like, how did you guys meet up, become friends, and eventually end up living together?
I was actually just like a big fan of his stream. I would watch his stream every day from like beginning to end.
Creep!
One day, we were at the same LP, so I asked him to do it. We just kept doing, and like after a shit ton of harassment, we just we decided to become roommates.
That's a crazy story. I think that's like way too many people's fantasy, where it's like, yeah, and then I dueled with Bjergsen,
Yeah.
and then we became best friends.
Oh, no.
You live in the fantasy,
You
man.
basically slash fictioned your way into Scar's apartment.
Yeah. So kind of going off that, you said you're doing a lot of content now. There was that skit that was kind of really well received by the community. It was like an ad for something, and you were kind of the brain behind it. So that's something you want to keep pursuing, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was like a first time for me too. I became like the writer, director, the cameraman, and it was a lot of confusing stuff. But I think it was great because at the essence of it, it's like an ad, right? So I feel like a lot of ads are like not taken very well by the community. They're usually like sellout, stuff like that. But it like hit #1 on the League subreddit, and people seem to love it.
So, I mean, when I talk to Skara about you, he has really high praise. He's like, oh my God, Yuna's mind is just like all about memes and like that's kind of how you blew up on social media and stuff. Is it something that really comes natural to you, or was it like, did you try to be funny?
I think it's like legit. I just intake all of this. I'm always like watching social media. I'm always on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and just you intake it all, and then it's like, this is what people like, this is what people don't like.
So you just eventually becomes like second nature to you. You just start thinking in memes. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what he says. Like you just like literally see something and think how it can be funny.
It's just like a sixth sense to it.
So on the subject of making memes, we wanted to highlight a couple of your best ones, and you can share your thoughts on kind of how they went. So let's take a look at the first one that we have here. It's the penguin one.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but there was this like big thing all over like Twitter and Reddit where like this penguin gets dumped by this penguin comes home to his wife penguin with another man, and they just fight. So I had a penguin costume from Halloween and some ketchup, and my roommate had some Jack Daniels. So we're like, all right, let's do it.
Okay, explain the ketchup to me.
The ketchup?
Why is there ketchup on your...
Because he
he's
got
bloody.
in a fight with.
Oh, I get it.
Have you seen the video?
I haven't seen the video.
You ever seen the video?
I'm really bad at internet.
All right. Speaking of ketchup, that's kind of like a theme in some of yours. So let's take a look at the next one involving some ketchup. Well, break me through the whole story, because this is like the end of it. So like, what is this?
All right, so basically I was talking to my friend, her name's Annika, and we were just talking, and then I don't know why, but it just like hit me. I was like, I just looked at like the ketchup and the eggs, and I was like, I think I know what I want to do with this. It was completely random. So legit, I just cooked a bunch of eggs. Crap, it looked awful, but
Yeah, but there's like a whole story to it where it's like, you know, you're like, hey, I'm gonna cook some breakfast, and she's like, oh, that sounds great. Like,
Yeah.
show me what it looks like.
she was like, she said she was hungry, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna show her me cooking eggs, and then it just led on to the super ketchup thing.
Did she find it funny too, or was this kind of like, what the?
Yeah, she found it hilarious.
Okay, because that blew up. A lot of people were like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So the last one I think is my personal favorite of yours that I've seen, and it's something that speaks to everyone. It's a very basic human emotion, so we can take a look at that.
Oh yeah.
I love this one. It's like tells a story through picture.
Me, Scar and I and Frag and his girlfriend, we went to some like random board game place, and they were just holding hands. They like always hold hands whenever
Well, I mean,
they're on
they're
this.
dating.
They're dating, but they're whatever, right? So I legit just looked at them, and I was like, I turned to Scar and I was like, Scar, why don't we ever hold hands? And I was like, wait, let's just put this in like a picture format and see if people like it or not.
Yeah, that one blew up too. That was the first one I was like, damn, this guy's funny. So like, do you ever put out a dud? It's like a lot of these are like hilarious, but like when you put out a dud, if you ever do, what's it like? Do you delete it? Do you like freak out?
I feel like when you put out a dud, it just like it won't gain enough likes in a certain amount of time. Like within like 5 minutes, it usually gets like a certain amount of likes. But if it doesn't reach that, it's just like a dud. And if you don't delete it fast enough, people are gonna just call you out instantly.
Don't you worry about the whole nothing can be deleted from the internet, where like someone's gonna screenshot it and just.
And once you reach like a certain threshold of followers too, it's like once you post it, people have it screenshotted.
It's also, you realize that all of your memes are now in the Smithsonian, right? Because they're
Yeah.
recording all the tweets.
Yeah, they put this all like, you know how there's aliens? They're gonna put it all
Yeah.
in a disc and send it to like random aliens. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Well, you just asked for nudes from aliens. So since you've been on the Yahoo campus, have you come up with any memes while walking around? You know, we took you to lunch, we showed you a lot of the studios. Did you have anything?
I came up with one while we were at the like waiting room, right? I put it on my Snapchat, and yeah, I think it's pretty funny.
Is this? I heard you got in trouble sometimes with stuff like this. Like CLG has sometimes come after you, be like, dude, you're too out of control.
I've already got in trouble twice with 2 drug-related jokes. I'm glad Yahoo's not mad at me. They legit, CLG came to me and was like, we want you to be yourself, but
You gotta tone it down.
you gotta tone it down, no drugs. And then Everyday Influencers, which is Scars and Pokey's managing brand, they also were like, that drug joke with Pokey, you gotta take that down, man.
I am sorry to break it to you though. That joke too far. We gotta ask you to leave.
Oh, okay.
Damn, the bad boy getting
Out.
kicked out. Thank you for joining us, Orlando YoonA. Thank you for coming in.
thank
You have fun?
It was a lot of fun. I'd love to do something like this again.
All right, sounds great. That's going to do it for us at Late Night League. Remember to watch next week because it'll be our final show of 2016 and might be your last chance to see me behind the desk. Or you can just watch the VOD like anyone does anyways. Stick around for Tilted, where I will actually be joining them, so that'll obviously be great. We'll leave you with a clip in the spirit of the Green Father. Thanks for watching from all of us here at Late Night League, and have a good afternoon.